Hi, I'm Pam Krueger, and you probably know the name Terry Savage when it comes to money. She's a nationally known financial journalist and a best-selling author. The latest edition of her book, The Savage Truth on Money, is just filled with time-tested investing strategies that work, whether the stock market is up, down, or sideways. And she's also unique because she was actually the first female to work on the Chicago Board of Options, a pretty wild place to be. So she's actually lived through more than just one, two, or dare I say, three real bear markets, which back then at those times were just as upsetting as what we're going through right now due to this dreaded COVID-19 virus. Now, I sat down today with Terry Savage, not up close and personal, of course, social distancing. But I did this because I thought you'd want to hear from someone who's been through this before and hear what she has to say about what to do right now.
Nobody ever got rich betting against America. This is a shock. But the energy shock was a shock in the 70s, and the inflation shock was a shock in the 80s.
Sure.
And the dot-com bust was a shock at the turn of the century. And the financial crisis in 2008 was a shock. This is a shock. It's a different kind of a one. But America will survive and prosper. I always believe that.
Terry, the big question on people's minds is it too late to assess how much money to move into cash in order to get comfortable, to be able to sleep at night?
Okay, now you're back to where you were 4 or 5 years ago. Does that make you a few years farther away from retirement? For some people, yes. Does that mean that right now it's too late? No, because I know that, well, I don't want to be gloomy, but here's what I say as we tape this on the weekend after the worst week in the markets. We have not seen the full economic impact yet globally. And we have not seen the first health scare truly in numbers because we haven't been testing. So there's a lot more scary news to come out. And although everybody's looking for a bounce, I'm not so sure that it'll be a long, long time before we bounce back to the old highs. So don't use that as your reference point. Think about what would happen to your financial life from this point on, when and if, as I think likely, we will go lower. I have been through 3 50% bear markets in my life. We're down only 30%. Now, I could be wrong. The market could bounce back, someone come out with a vaccine immediately, or we got the numbers all wrong or whatever. But if I'm wrong, what happens to you? You're sitting with a pile of cash. Just think about this as a fact. There has never been a 20-year period, going all the way back to 1926. There has never been a 20-year period when you lost money in a diversified portfolio of large company American stocks with dividends reinvested. And especially you haven't lost money even adjusted for inflation. So think about it, from 1926 to 46, including the whole depression, 1949 to 69, 1965 to 85, there's never been a 20-year losing period in a diversified large cap portfolio, call it the S&P 500, with dividends reinvested, which happens in your 401k, even adjusted for inflation. That's why if you're younger and you're working, you keep investing.
I think that if you're trying to figure out when to get back into the market and exactly that right point, that is just a fool's errand. It's impossible to know. So what do you suggest?
Right. You have to have the strength to say sell. Now, and you also should be saying sell, and you shouldn't charge me a commission. I want to negotiate the commission on selling this. Right now, please have the confidence to rely on your own sense of self-preservation. If your money's in a 401k account, you have choices. Move 30% to the safest choice. Just do it, as the Nike ad says. If you have money in stocks and mutual funds outside your 401k or 403b or IRA, then move some of that to your bank, to a money market deposit account.
And what do you suggest for people who really do want professional help right now? I mean, after all, out of all the things we cannot control, who we choose to work with and hire to help us with, professional advice is something we can control. So what do you suggest?
Well, one of the sad things, they say, when the tide goes out, you see who's been swimming without a bathing suit? Well, the tide has gone out on financial advice. Pam, you and I, in the new edition of my book, The Savage Truth on Money, the last edition 8 years ago, I didn't use the word fiduciary. Now there's a whole chapter on it. In fact, I refer to Wealth Ramp, which you created to allow people to go to a website, wealthramp.com, and get matched up. I think it's like match.com, but nobody calls you, you call them, with fiduciary financial advisors, people who commit to fully disclosing all fees and commissions and putting your interests ahead of their own. There's a humongous financial services industry out there. They've poured people into high-cost, illiquid investments. And now this tide is going out, and sadly, we'll see who's being hurt. I've been warning that as people retire and do these rollovers, that whole industry is standing there trying to sell you products that have big commissions that lock you into them, that give you no liquidity. And the baby boomers have been just like, it's like fishing with a net when the whole school of fish comes along. They've been netting. When this settles down, which might be a month or more, then you're going to need a fiduciary. Forget the word financial advisor. Forget the letters CFP. You need someone who will write down in writing on the company letterhead, I am a fiduciary. I will fully disclose all fees, commissions, and awards I get for selling you anything, and I promise to put your interests first. I'm going to do a commercial for you. I don't sell anything. I don't have any clients. I don't want your business. Go to wealthramp.com, where you can be matched up with a series of advisors Pam has vetted around the country who adhere to that fiduciary promise.
Well, Terry, you and I do a podcast together with Rich Eisenberg called Friends Talk Money, and that's on nextavenue.com. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing this straightforward, no-nonsense advice today. Thanks.